When people are pitching you, what is your pet peeves of like what you shouldn't do?
If somebody pitches a business plan and they throw me a financial forecast as the first thing and talk about numbers and money, then I'm just out of there as fast as I can. Because they're chasing.
A drink with Dan Gilbert. Who doesn't give a whole lot of one-on-one interviews? We know that. A young entrepreneur who grew up in Rochester Hills, scored the sit down with Detroit's business tycoon. She's Hillary Sawchuk. She makes a living with a web series in which she picks the brains of high-profile people who have reached success. It's called A Drink With. And Hillary works in Chicago. She came home to Detroit to have a drink with me.
Yes, cheers. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. But guess what? I get to ask the questions.
This is weird. It's weirding me out.
We talk for 10 to 15 to an hour, and we only have a few minutes. So this is just fascinating. Talk about, before we get kind of how you started all this, talk about some of the people that you have had the privilege of sitting down and talking to.
Yeah. So it's been about 5 years.
Okay.
We just sat down with Dan Gilbert, which was so fun. Richard Branson,
Wow.
John Legend, Chelsea Handler, Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us.
Wow. How did this come to be?
Sure. So I went to school for broadcast journalism at Oakland University.
Wonderful.
So I grew up watching Channel 7
neat.
and you.
Well, thank you.
And I really enjoy just getting to know people and meeting new people, building relationships. And I thought there's like no better way than in a comfortable setting over a drink. It's not always alcohol.
Right.
People open up and relax, whether it's a coffee or a beer. And so we try to be different than the rest of the media and pretend as if the cameras aren't there.
Right.
To kind of give our viewers that intimate peek at what it's like to have a drink with some of these people.
Before we hear more from Dan Gilbert, I just want to ask, how do you kind of get in to do it? Because you're established now, right? But when you first started doing this, saying this is a really cool idea, how did you get some of these big names to agree to sit down and have a drink with you?
I would show up at parties and events just to introduce myself to people, and it's just baby steps, starting small.
Yeah.
I set a goal to do one interview a week, and it was just local, entrepreneurs and influencers around Chicago.
Yeah.
It was baby steps before the Richard Branson
And
came
here's
along.
Richard Branson. When was this interview? And this was one of your favorites, you said.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. He was so nice. He remembered my name. He was so present and gave such thoughtful answers. So that's definitely a tea I'll never forget.
A tea.
Yeah,
Do you allow them to come up with what it is they want to drink?
I always have whatever they want to drink.
Well, we're drinking water today, so
I heard there was no alcohol allowed on set. Not that I would want to drink in the middle of the day, but
so Dan Gilbert, right? We're in the Cube right now. Dan Gilbert, just has orchestrated so much of the comeback. So let's take a little bit of a listen now on what you guys also had to talk about.
So let's pretend it's 10 years down the road.
Yep. You're still only like 29 or something.
I'll be 40.
You'll be 40, okay.
Can you paint the picture of like what it feels like and just what it looks like to walk into work?
I'm hoping that Detroit is 10 years from now one of the handful of technology, entertainment, marketing centers of the United States and maybe the world. That's where people like you, for instance, who have their own business, 30 years old, and they're creative class, and this is the place to be. This is where the action is.
A lot of action already here. We hope, too, that's what we see. Real quick before we wrap up, who's your next big name you got coming?
Oh, gosh. I can't say just yet.
Okay,
follow us on A Drink With on our Twitter handle.
That's what I was going to ask you. How can we see these interviews?
Just adrinkwith.com. Our Twitter and Instagram is A Drink With. But I have to flip it around on you really quick.
Okay.
If you could have a drink with anyone, who would it be?
Oh, my gosh. I can't think that fast. Let me get back to you on that.
All right. We'll do it offline.
Offline, you got it. All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Hillary.
you.
It's a pleasure talking to you, and great success to you.
Thanks.
It's really wonderful. All right.